What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Rezolve AI. I want to go over some of the data points, what's moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Rezolve is down 4.04%, 222 the high, 209 the low. On the other hand, we are seeing low volume. So 11.4 million shares being traded. And this is something I've mentioned time and time again. We are starting to experience lower and lower volume. So big money's clearly just waiting for the next big catalyst, and unfortunately we're not getting that warm fuzzy feeling. So this week we did have FOMC minutes that didn't really come in line with expectation. Today big stuff was going to be GDP and PCE. PCE did come in a little bit hotter, so that was one thing that initially spooked the market. And then GDP. So GDP in among itself came in at 3.7, forecast of 3.6. So that was fairly positive, but the growth rate came in at a very low 1.4%. There could be a lot of different attributing factors to that, but for face value, you have low growth rate and PCE a little bit hotter, both month over month and year over year. Market didn't really like that whatsoever. And so based on the Feds, they are kind of watching for a lot of the inflationary data. So we actually want that to be positive, not hot. Labor data, we want to come in hot, and then that way it kind of justifies a little bit more of a rate cut. Definitely very messed up. But today we're seeing a lot of kind of craziness also happening in the broader market. So surprisingly, we did see a nice push higher, and that's because of this. So Supreme Court strikes down Trump's global tariffs. It's yet to be seen how that is going to kind of be played out, whether there's going to be a lot of refunds. A lot of research firms are already starting to come out saying that despite everything, a lot of retailers are going to keep these prices. They're not going to lower them because of kind of the tariffs being canceled. But unfortunately, one thing that popped that optimism was Trump coming out saying that he has other tools to pretty much get the tariffs. So definitely a very interesting Friday. Aside from that, nothing really coming out from Rezolve. So no press releases, no SEC filings, nothing being posted on social media either. So it is just at the mercy of the broader market. As I did indicate in my last video yesterday, based on the amended 13Gs, it does signal some institutions are selling. I did get some comments saying that institutions have been buying, blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to fully clarify that anyone looking at these 13Fs, all of this is delayed information. All of these 13Fs are from Q4. So for instance, right here, Torno Capital did buy call options, 127,000 worth, and ultimately, yeah, that was done in Q4. It's not, they didn't do it on February the 17th. So just be somewhat aware of that. So yeah, I always like to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly, not here to BS you in any way or whatever else. Looking at shorts. So shorts right now are increasing 184,000 shares. 12.9% of the free float is being shorted. Works to be 34.02 million shares overall are being shorted. So shorts aren't really doing too much. At the peak, they're increasing around 700,000 shares. So at the end of the day, they're kind of just piggybacking off of the broader fear. I'm actually going back here for a second. So there's roughly around 900,000 shares available to be shorted. So sometimes if like stocks have limited supply, such as Rezolve right now, you could be seeing some buying, as a lot of big players, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, they love to buy stock just to lend out. So again, that might potentially come from one of them. But aside from that, looking at today's options, 195,000 in calls, 45,000 in puts. So this does match with the lower volume overall. 53% of all the options being done today are bullish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be above $1.50 to $2. So not much optimism, surprisingly enough. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 250. With today being Friday, just watch for this. So we have 980 at the $2 strike price, and then 392 at the $1.50. So you're not going to be seeing any gamma squeeze. If Rezolve was to have closed above, let's say 350, might be a different story. On the secondary market, we're seeing one transaction for 387,000, and it is a sell. So again, this is why I like to kind of go over the data behind the scenes, and a lot of my videos have really shown that institutions are selling. So again, all of this right here, even though there's a lot of new positions, all of that did occur in Q4. So pretty much almost like 2 months ago in reality, or a little bit longer than that. These are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool. So it kind of matches with just shorts not really doing all that much. With it right now at 213, it is trading between this S1 and this S2. So as I've mentioned, $1.89 is going to be the next strong support. Luckily enough, it's actually been holding up above that $2 mark. But still, if things start to get very fearful in the market, $1.89 is going to be the next strong support. 246 is going to be the next strong target. But like, I don't know. I don't even know what the next big catalyst would be for the broader market, because we kind of are popping the likelihood of a rate cut for March. I know in April, early April, we should be getting the semi-annual earnings for Rezolve. And as I kind of brought up, I know Dan wants to eventually move it to quarterly. That isn't on his priorities right now. So he did kind of post about that, I think like 2-3 weeks ago, but that might be, I guess, the next big catalyst for Rezolve itself. But for the broader market, definitely we need a little bit more clarity for trade. On the actual chart itself, not looking great whatsoever. So we are recently kind of breaking kind of key levels. So looks like more consolidation is coming, regrettably. So we can kind of look back in June when it did have $1.99 as kind of a low. That might be at least that middle step before we hit that kind of $1.89 range. But as of right now, looking at the market position, you don't see that much willing buyers at all. And still, most of the volume is coming from algorithmic trading, no new analyst ratings since February the 13th. So let me know your thoughts on Rezolve. Are you buying? Are you selling? What's your kind of general thoughts on Rezolve? At the same time, just to be fully clear, it's not just Rezolve that's kind of going through this. The broader market seems to be pivoting to more risk off. So even though indexes for the most part are green, so Nasdaq's up 0.57, S&P 0.32, it's still it's more the defensive kind of plays that's getting most of the volume. So a lot of speculative stocks such as Rezolve are kind of being left behind. If things pivot back, then this is where you could see a very nice push higher. $1 million question is when that is going to occur, and most likely it's going to coincide with when the market feels that we'll be getting a rate cut. So let me know your thoughts on Rezolve. Are you buying? Like I said, one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.